Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, everyone. Hey, Geisha, you wasn't playing when you said you were going to be on time and you had your alarm set. We are just waiting for Sabrina to join in. Hey, Siobhan, how are you? We're just waiting for Sabrina. Hey, Bree, call in so you can join. If you can call in again. No, there's definitely not a game, Geisha. Definitely not a game at all. Again. Hey, 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 hey.
Hello, everyone. Woo!
Geisha is definitely right on time.
Nice.
Yes. She was here before you, so she's on it.
Okay, so listen, do you hear me? Got the little soul stuff going on in the background?
Just a little bit. Hey, Specs, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
How's everyone doing?
All right, so we're just going to kick it off. As people join in, we'll continue to update everybody.
Hold on, now my music going to turn off.
We'll think about it, Geisha. We'll think about it.
Hold on, we're gonna get it together.
We're gonna get it together. You might get the first one here, so you never know.
Okay.
How you doing, my eventful bliss? Good evening, good night. So we're just gonna kick it off, okay, guys? So welcome to Leo Dread Promotions, aka LDP Leo Love. My name is Beijing Boom. That is my cousin, Superstar Heaven.
Hi, everyone.
And we are Leo Dread Promotions, okay? This is the return, of the new and improved Leo Love. Hey, Nats, how are you? This is the new and improved Leo Love, and we're calling this Soul Sister Sundays, okay? That's what we're calling this, Soul Sister Sundays, okay? And this is for us to discuss every and everything under the sun, and we just want to welcome you, okay? So I'm going to turn it over to Bree, aka Superstar Heaven, and she is going to run down our mission statement.
All right, so our mission statement. Hi, everyone. I know I haven't seen y'all in a long time, and you haven't seen me. So our mission statement is to explore important worldly topics in depth, regardless of content, while entertaining and interacting with you, the viewers, from our personal point of view. Through love, light, always, I say.
Okay. So we're going to go into the different days that we're going to be streaming. We're definitely going to be mainly streaming on Sundays for Soul Sister Sundays. And that's where we pretty much just wind down from the week before, get ready for your new week, and just start to, let's talk about everything under the sun. This is where there's no topics that are obsolete from talking about on a Sunday. On our Wednesday streams, for those of you who used to join us on Wednesdays, Wednesdays is called AKA Hump Day, but we like to call it Leo Love After Dark Taboo, where we get a little raunchy and we talk about those, type of topics that are a little cliche, a little taboo. No one wants to breathe. Hold it down over there. No one wants to really talk about it and discuss it, but here we're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about everything, okay? On Thursdays, we're definitely going to stick with the throwback Thursdays or throw it all away Thursdays. There might have been something that happened up in the week, a little earlier up in the week. And, how you doing, Cheryl? Thank you for joining. Something could have happened early in the week and we just want to talk about, like, child, throw it all away. That situation was garbage. We'll definitely be talking about important topics that's going on worldwide. It doesn't matter where. We're going to cover all of that stuff, okay? And I'm going to turn it back over to Bree, and she is going to go into our contact info for you guys.
All right, so being that we're starting this up, some people have our contact information, some people don't, but on IG we can be reached at Leo Dread Promotions, Superstar Heaven, or for Fayan, it's Beijing Boom. On Facebook, Leo Dread Promotions, Leo Love with LDP, and the email is ldpromotions19@gmail.com. Okay, and you can reach out to us, give us suggestions. Even if you have a topic that you want to hear about that we're talking about, just give us suggestions, put it on IG, DMs, texts, anything like that. Okay, and back to you, Paige.
Okay, so right now we're going to go into the update on where we've been. Just a little synopsis of where we've been and why we're back. Okay, so each member is going to, thanks Cheryl, we try girl, we try. Each member is just going to talk for a few minutes, and then after that we're going to go right into the topic. So Bree is going to start and just let the people know where you've been, what's been going on, and what made you come back to Leo Love.
Well, for the past 4 years, I've been in Florida. I just couldn't take the cold anymore. My mom couldn't take the cold anymore. So, you know, we had a couple of deaths in our family that just drained us, especially me, especially Fan. It just drained us. We lost major players in our family, you know, our patriarchs, our matriarchs that actually became how we came to
Got
be
here.
in
Yeah, exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, my grandfather passed in 2017. He was the patriarch of the family. He started everything. You know, if it wasn't him, none of us would be here.
Sure.
You know, so at that time I was just drained. I was tired. I didn't want to be here anymore. Like, I just couldn't deal with New York anymore. And my mom, she was just like, I'm ready to go. I don't want to be here anymore. Being in the nursing field, I've heard about people talk about winter blues, but I actually seen my mom go through it. Like, she couldn't, because of her arthritis, she could not go anywhere during the winter, you know, so she was basically stuck in the house for 5-6 months. So she was like, I want to go. I said, where you want to go? And she was like, I want to go back to Florida. It's warm in Florida. And me being the only girl, the only daughter, I was like, okay, let's go. And I picked up the family and we relocated. So for the past 4 years, we've been down here just living this Florida life. Like, it is beautiful. I don't mean to be a hater, but I understand New York is cold right now. We are short days all day. It is in the 70s right now. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a hater. But anyway, and I'm going to ask the same question to you, Faye. What have you been doing in the past 2 years?
Okay, well, in the past 2 years, I completed my service, I would say, at sanitation, because anybody who knows me knows that I used to work for sanitation. I signed a 20-year pension, and I ended up giving them 22 years. Geisha, please, the cold is the... Oh, okay, girl. Okay. Says you. Not like me, who actually worked in that weather while you guys would commute to work and go inside. Meanwhile, I commuted to work outside. So that part of my life is over. I definitely retired from sanitation. I got out of the cold. Like my cousin said, the cold just became too much for me. It became too much for my mother. She stopped spending winters in New York and would go home to Barbados every single winter. And it's like, why are we even doing that? Let's leave. There's nothing else. I can get up. I can go. I'm retired. It's cool. So I am in Florida.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, because I kind of left New York on, like, you know, a kind of little back door kind of thing. Hey, cuz, how are you? Thanks for joining. So I snuck out the back door, you know, and a lot of people didn't know that I left New York. So officially, I have left New York. I am in Florida. I'm about 45 minutes away from Sabrina. So we're still close in proximity, similar to how far we lived apart in Brooklyn and Queens. So nothing really changed. So with us being back together in close proximity, Cheryl, keep it on. It's supposed to have stayed on the hush, Cheryl. Thank you very much. So we started talking about, you know, we started going back out again down here and stuff like that. And we was like, you know what? We can do this. Let's just do this. We still had topics from our old book, honestly, that we never even touched. And you know what, Geisha? I don't like how y'all coming for me, but okay. I don't like how y'all coming for me, but okay. You know, we can do this again, we can definitely talk about that, you know, talk about the topics that we haven't touched, talked about the topics that were upcoming that we needed to talk about, you know. So, hey, Rob, how you doing, boo? So, with that being said, I think we're going to get right into our topic for tonight. So,
which is very
fitting.
along the line of what
Yes.
we're talking about. Yeah.
Right. So with us leaving New York and kind of not really starting over, but starting new, we can say.
Yeah.
We made a change in our lives. So our first topic for the return of Leo Love-Sól Sistah Sundaze is, when is change necessary? Our topic is change, okay? And we have key points that we're going to discuss. So I'm going to start with the first key point, and it's, when is change necessary? Okay? So, Bree, do you want to go ahead and give your feedback on when is change necessary?
Like I said, you know, after the passing of the patriarch, my grandfather, I wasn't feeling it anymore. Like, I really wasn't feeling it no more. And it's not even just like the environment, just within me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even my faith, you know,
And see what Geisha's saying there. Read out, let everybody know what Geisha's saying right there in the comments.
I can't see what she's saying.
Geisha is saying change is necessary when you are no longer feeling challenged and fulfilled in your life.
And that's exactly
a very good point, Geisha.
Like, every aspect of my life, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. You know, relationships, just the relationships with other people, relationships with within my family. You know, I didn't have that anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I was just getting up. I was just going through the motions, like people say. I was getting up, going to work, coming home, getting up, going to work, coming home, doing all of that. And, you know, once I was also looking for peace.
Okay.
Peace. You know, somehow I wasn't at peace, you know, and that's what made me want to change. Like, when I moved down here, I didn't have a job. You know, we moved down here, and I'm going to be very transparent. When we sold the house, we moved down here, and I was just like, yeah, I don't want to fucking work right now. Like, I came down on FMLA to bring my mom down, see how it is, stuff like that. And for those 3 months, I slept, I ate, I watched TV, and I just did the family. You know, it's just me.
And like, not to cut you, Bree, but what Geisha just said is, when one is feeling regular, you stop living and you begin to just exist. These two are not the same. So she's pretty much, you know, agreeing with what you said, that you were just going through the motions of change. You know what I mean? You were going through the motions of just like, okay, I know my alarm is up. I got to get up because my alarm just went off. I have to get up. Okay, I know I have to drive up this street 3 blocks and make a right because that's the way to go to work. I know I have to go into work. I have to sign in. I have to sit down. I have to do and your daily actions become very redundant.
Yes, and that's exactly how it was. Okay. You know, I came down, and like I said, for those three months that I was on FMLA, I didn't even work. Like, I wasn't even looking for a job. Wasn't trying to look for a job. I was just enjoying the sun, the fun. I was enjoying my kids. You know, I was enjoying my mom. I was just enjoying the whole family thing. We did movie nights. We did, you know, we'll stay up late. We'll talk. Everything just like getting back to the family. You know, and that's like Geisha just said again. She said most definitely she aligns with the 3 months of doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes it is needed in order to start fresh and new. You know, it is. You know. And I remember nothing wrong with taking a mental break. That's true, Ron. Nothing wrong with taking a mental break. It's not. And I definitely needed that. You know what I'm saying? So when I came back to New York, I had to come back to New York because, like I said, I took the FMLA from my job, and I had to come back to New York to give them 30 days.
Right.
You know,
right.
I was going to, and at that moment I was going to say, hey, am I staying or am I coming back? And I was just like, yeah, I did my 30 days and I didn't stay 1 minute more.
Right.
I did 30 days, bought a flight and was right back. Not even on the 31st day. On the 30th day,
on that day,
work and got in a plane and was out. Kids, I missed my kids. I just missed the whole peacefulness of being down.
It is a difference. Yeah, it is a difference.
So, yeah. What was the change for you?
Why was it necessary? So many things. It was necessary because similar to what Geisha said, going through the motions, similar to what you said, the redundancy of it. I won't lie, I'll be as transparent as can be as well. The COVID pandemic. Good afternoon, Sandstorms. Thank you for joining us. That pandemic really changed the job that I had. Like I said, I was a part of sanitation. I was no longer a sanitation worker outside, but I was still a sanitation supervisor. So I still went outside and I interacted. And, you know, some of the bosses just really didn't care about our well-being when it came down to the actualness of us having to interact with civilians that we knew nothing of and then expect us to go home to our families and be okay.
Right.
And it wasn't okay anymore. Good night, it's Tiff, Miss BK. Thank you for joining us. So it took me for a loop, also with the passing of Bree's stepmother and her father within 2 weeks of each other. Really definitely threw me for a loop again. And as I said, I had completed my years in sanitation already. Prior to starting sanitation, my kid's dad was looking into purchasing a house in West Palm Bay. And back then, houses was 80 grand. Now, you know, we can't get no house for nobody for 80 grand nowadays. And what he did was he was searching for us to come down here. And this is way before my daughter was even born, and found a house. And when he got back, I got the letter of approval to join sanitation. So it was like, damn, this ain't the right move. He's like, yo, 20 years is going to come and pass, and we will be down there. 6 months after I joined, he got his approval, his acceptance for NYPD. And unfortunately, we lost him approximately 10 years ago. And I kind of feel like I'm fulfilling a dream, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I was supposed to be over 20 years ago, you know, not to the fact that I am born in the middle of the summer on an island. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. As much as you guys used to see me as your friendly neighborhood sanitation worker, giving you guys all the play-by-plays while I used to plow snow and be out there working all those hours. I hate snow. You guys can have that. Keep the snow and keep the cold weather. Keep it. I love it. So this is why.
It is true.
Geisha, I understand you. Hey, it's Shanta. Thank you for joining. And that's why I felt my change was necessary. So we're going to go on into the next part, the next key point, and Bree, and to the audience, is change always needed for growth? Can you grow without making any kind of changes? Do you think that you're able to grow without making any kind of changes?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I really do. I think because for the growth, you have to first have that change within yourself. Like there has to be something in you that says, hey, this is not right anymore, or this is not going to work anymore.
Our cousin is wishing 30-degree weather for us.
We do have that down here.
We do that 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much.
Keep it up there. You know, okay, so let's digress for a minute. Now don't get me wrong, we do have cold weather down here, but Florida's winter is from December until about February, right? Around that time. that's where we'll get the cold. Like there's nights that go down to 40s and 30s.
Yes.
You know, but by the daytime, it'll come back up to like a cool 60. Now, let me just put this out here. New York 60 and New York 50s is not the same as Florida 50 and 60.
Not the same.
You still got to put on a scarf. You still got to put on a hat. Florida's 50, we can put on like a cable knit sweater and be good.
Exactly.
You know, like a thick sweater. We can put on a shawl, or like a little wool shawl, and still have on a t-shirt under it. You understand what I'm saying? It's totally different. Don't get me wrong. I'm a summer baby, and I still have heat on in my house when it gets cold.
Damn right. So Rosalind,
your blood gets active.
Yeah, not to cut you. Rosalind made a comment that the one thing constant in life is change, which is extremely true. And Geisha said, in order to grow, you have to be challenged, and that cannot be done in comfort. Change is the only constant in life. So with that part being said, it's one of our key points. When you're making change, can you be afraid to make change? And I think I'm going to run this one, Bree, and then you can pick another one of the other ones. It's like what Geisha said. So she kind of brought it up, so it ties into that next key point. Can you be afraid of change? You can absolutely be afraid of change. It's the fear of the unknowing, and that goes for everything. That's changing a job, changing a school, changing your major in school, relocation, all of that. Fear of the unknown is definitely a hindrance that can hold you back from making a positive change. Being familiar in your settings, being quote unquote okay with where you're at in your life and what is going on, and kind of plateauing out and never seeing anything past the plateau, because we tend to say things, even amongst conversations between myself and my cousin, myself and my other cousin that's there, is you know, when you want to make a change, but I know the devil I deal with.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? And that is
with the devil I know, then the devil I don't know.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, I know what's coming if I make this right turn, because I've been there, done that already. I'm prepared for that. You understand? So it's like, why should I have to always prepare myself to change to something that I don't know? I don't know what answer to give. I don't know the way to react towards that. So some people, I would say some people are afraid of change. And Geisha also said that it's a dishonor to all that have fought for me to have the privilege and access I've been afforded. It's what's scarier is never, what is it? What's scary to me is never even trying and being complacent in life. Roz also said, Lily Hibiscus says, growth is necessary and it is uncomfortable, but that is okay. And I get that. And I get that. For me, I've definitely been afraid of change before. Definitely. Not knowing, hey, Cher, thanks for joining us. Even in this relocation, of course, it was a scary thing to go through. And I knew that in order for me to grow in my family setting the way I envisioned it in my head, was that I had to make myself uncomfortable to leave New York. So I gave up where I was staying, very transparent to everyone. I gave up where I was staying with my 2 grown children and moved back in with my mom in order to make myself uncomfortable. You understand what I'm saying? Uncomfortable to grow to where I am now. I had to do it. So my comfort zone, the walls that were built up around my comfort zone, I'm not going to tell you I knocked them all down in one shot. Yeah. It didn't happen in one shot. I definitely chipped and chipped away at it until I was able to come to this part. So what do you feel about, how do you feel about that?
Like I said, I think, you know, you have to be it's normal to be afraid. You understand what I'm saying? Here goes my transparency post. When I left New York, we weren't on good terms, right?
It's true.
We were, and everybody that knows us knows that once they see you, they see me. Once they see me, they see you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? When I left New York, I was so uncomfortable that other things that was happening on the outside wasn't sitting right with me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, I can't keep working at this. I need to work on myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I work on myself, I can bring everybody else back in. You understand what I'm saying? I can bring everybody else back in, but just some of the things that I was dealing with, you were dealing with, stuff like that, it wasn't sitting well with
Correct.
me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was like, you know what? In my mind, at that time, I was like, listen, I just got to do me right now. I got to do me, with me better. Once I'm better and I approach these people or anything, or you, as a matter of fact, I can deal with the situation in a better way.
Right.
And I say that because, like, sometimes I know that I am the definition of, I'm purely the definition of a Leo. Like, you mess with any of mine, I'm trying to rip your goddamn head off.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But I needed to stop that. And I needed to let people deal with their own things, with their own issues.
Sorry, guys. The dog. Sorry. He thinks I'm in my room, and I'm not in my room because I'm sitting right here in the loft. And he's knocking my door.
Yeah.
So let me read to you some of the things so that you can respond to them. Geisha said all that matters is that you did learn. Cher said sometimes you have to separate yourself in order to heal and grow. And Geisha said that part, Barry.
Hello. And I did. Like, I really had to learn how to, because I realized that I was becoming angry. You know, like, I really was a IDG AF. I had that mentality completely. You know what I'm saying? So I needed to learn how to answer and deal with things out of love. You understand? I needed to learn how
are you?
I needed to learn how to deal with situations and people out of love. You know, if I'm not, at that time I wasn't ready to deal with it, and I knew I would have been bitter. My answer would have been bitter. So I said, you know what, let me separate myself, get more into my family, get more into myself, getting to know myself, getting to relearning myself. And that's where the change came about. You know, I'm all about love and light now. But still remember, 0 to 20.
The night TIG 516.
Sophisticated, real quick.
Sophisticated. Okay, so Bree, you want to pick another key point for us to move on to?
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick what would you do if those close to you didn't accept your change? They see you changing, you feel that you're changing for the better. Not even you feel, you know that you're changing for the better. What would you do if someone close to you or others close to you did not like the new you or the evolving? Because that's what we do. We evolve all the time. So the evolving you.
Right. Before I even answer that, Cher said sometimes we live so much in survival mode. We need to recognize that and heal from it. Absolutely, Cher. That's absolutely true.
Exactly.
What have I done? Not what would I do? What have I done in terms of receiving negativity from a change, from a growth? Okay. So transparency part again. Upon leaving, during the process of leaving, sanitation. There, like I said, we were in the height of the pandemic still, so the ways in order to file for your retirement was in a certain way. Like follow these steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. In order to follow those steps, had I followed that step and I asked for a face-to-face appointment in NICERS in New York City, and I filed that, say I filed that in that April, my appointment to go in was November. I chose not to do it that way. I did it via online on the computer, and I filed in May, and I was close of business by August 10th, 2021. Close of business. My actual retirement date from NICERS itself was the 21st of July that year. Now, I mentioned this part to tell you guys the differences in filing. Hey, Star, the differences in filing because of the fact that I had old co-workers that when I said I was retiring, kept saying to me or was whispering, because, you know, rumors come full circle and they come right back. She can't retire. She can't do that. Why can't I do it? So when the paperwork came in, it was like, oh my God, she retired. How can she retire? You can't tell me what I got going on in my life. Oh, you're too young to retire. You have to do another 20. No, I don't. My contract called for 20 years, and I gave you 22. So I don't have to wait for it and do another 20 years of being miserable for anything. So I had to look at them and tell them, a certain person that naysayed with me and spoke about it behind my back, I had to come full circle and confront that person. And I was like, listen, I heard that you were saying I cannot retire. I wasn't able to retire. I don't have the financial backing to retire. You don't know my life. And I had to tell him, of course I can retire. If my pension monthly would have been $1,000, it'd have been $1,000 extra more dollars every month guaranteed until the day I die. It had nothing to do with you. This is for me, for my growth and change, not for your growth and change. So let me, had nothing to do with him.
Let me ask this, and not to cut you. Was this person an older person?
Yes, it was an older person and a person of a different complexion. And that person still has 8 years left to go on this particular job. But I had to tell them at the end of the day, I have other things. I've been doing here since I was 14 years old. I'm a certified bartender. I sew.
Yeah.
I make hand beads. I make liquor lollipops. Please don't tell me where my financial residual income is going to come, because you have no idea. Hi, Chicky.
What I do.
Thanks for joining us. So that was the way I had to actually confront that person head on. Because if people aren't happy for you and your change, sometimes it's like, all right, I'll drop it, whatever it is, it is. But sometimes you have to confront them. You have to confront them and let them know that my growth and my change is for me. It's not for you.
Yeah, they can
like you mentioned, selfish to being selfish. It's for me. It has nothing to do with you. The changes I make in my life to better myself and my family, it's for me. It has nothing to do with you. So I had to confront that person one-on-one.
You have a lot of people, and the reason why I asked if that person was older, because I've realized, you know, just dealing with our family or older people in general, that older people that can discourage you from doing things that you want to do. You know, one of the things that a lot of people are saying now is these new, what is it, millennials, Gen Z, that's now
I don't even know what they are anymore.
Exactly. I don't either. Okay, the younger people, the next generation, that, you know, they're coming in and they're making changes because they're not listening to older people. You know, when I was younger, there's a lot of changes that I wanted to make at that time. Like I wanted to I had an opportunity to move to North Carolina. But at that time, I was like, oh, I got kids. You know, at that time, I was still a nurse. But I got kids. They're young. You know, I just don't want to up and move my kids and, you know,
Right.
uproot them and stuff like that. But looking back now, what they say, hindsight is 2020.
Hindsight
Looking
is
back,
2020.
if I would have made that move, I probably would have been further than I am now. You understand? But don't get me wrong, I like where I'm at now.
Yes.
I like how peaceful it is. I like how simple,
Yes.
yes, happy, and peaceful it is.
Yes. So let me read to you some of the replies and the viewers. Cher said that my growth, she was talking to me as far as what I was saying, is my growth made them uncomfortable in their own complacency. Absolutely. But he's one of those guys who always, we had the same title. He had me be in seniority, but not in length of years on the job. And who he portrayed to be was someone who didn't need, quote unquote, the job. He didn't need the job. So, you know, I had to deal with him that way. Geisha said the older generation has a completely different mindset than we do about work. They absolutely do. I feel like we go into a job to exceed and excel, but it brings it back to the point that Geisha says, and they were taught to work harder, but we realized we need to work smarter. Yes. And that is what it is. We work smarter. And it takes nothing away from the older generation at all. It takes nothing away from the older generation. It's just that, you know, as we said, our family originated in Barbados and came up here. So some of their goals are different than other people's goals, if you understand what I'm trying to say. As far as where they want to go in a job per se. Are they comfortable working in a hotel in housekeeping for their entire life? And they're fine with that.
Yeah, they're fine with that.
We are not fine with that. We are not fine with that. So I do agree we are working smarter. Cher also said Wednesday is knocking down the doors with no apologies, and she loves it.
It's true. It's true. Like the older generation, they were used to longevity. Example, my grandfather worked at one place for over 40 years. Yes. when he retired from there. Yes. You understand? Yeah. Versus me, my resume is about 6 pages long because let me start getting uncomfortable. And I'm like, I'm on Indeed at work looking. I listen to me. I keep my resume.
So change is something like a reoccurring cycle. You have to constantly change and grow, stick and move, kind of.
Yeah, stick and move. Like I'm constantly upgrading my resume, adding it on, keeping it recent, right? You know, relevant. Because baby, let me get uncomfortable. But I'm gonna make sure before I leave one place, I got the other one secured first. You know, you understand what I'm saying? I've been down here 4 years. I can 1, 2, 3. I think I've had about 5 jobs already. You understand? Because let me get uncomfortable and I be like, what they say, you don't got to worry about me. You don't got to worry about me. You know, and I'm out with the quickness. You understand what I'm saying? So one of the next points that we have is, we kind of touched on this while we were already talking. Okay. Can past behaviors or actions of comfort keep you from making positive changes? And I'll start with this one. When I was moving, I had a friend, you know, I had a male friend, you know, and a male friend. And when I was moving, you know, first of all, the for sale sign was up in my yard for over a year. When I moved, you know, I spoke to this person and I was like, yo, like, if you want to change, hey, why don't you can come down and we could try to make it work, stuff like this. And girl, homeboy basically gave me his ass to kiss. You understand what I'm saying? And when I moved down here, I didn't block him, but baby, I wasn't talking to him. Okay. And it wasn't until was down here like over a year, that he hit me up one day and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm just looking at him. I was like, "Hey, we're trying to, I guess trying to make it work, stuff like that." Came down to visit, and after he visited, I was just like, "Yeah, it's not gonna work. We are on two different pages in total different books." You understand what I'm saying? And then, like they tell you what's in the dark comes to light. Comes to light, or whatever in the wash is going to come out in the rinse, whatever. But there's certain information that didn't come out when I was in New York. And we were we were talking. I'm not going to say we were dating because anyway,
it wasn't right.
That would be on a taboo night. Anyway, so so we were dating, and information that didn't come out when I was in New York
that should
came out when
Is this information that should have come out? Okay.
We should have came out in like month 1, 2, 3, but it didn't. It came out and in year like 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I don't want this. I don't want this. No.
Right.
I don't want it.
Even though you were comfortable in the relationship after you came down here, and things started playing out and exposing themselves more, it didn't keep you from making a positive change. It propelled you to make your positive change.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I slipped back into the comfortableness for a little bit, but then I was like, okay, I made all these other changes.
Right.
This one don't feel right no more.
Right. And like DJ L Boogie 718 says, because you grew and they didn't. And that can happen at times when it comes down to change and growth. You, as you said, you were in a relationship, and you can have this couple, and I see all these things all over the place about being a couple is 50-50. No. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that. My personal opinion, there's always someone here and someone here. And that doesn't mean that remains the same, because things fluctuate and things change, and now you're here and here. And sometimes you can be here, and then it can go back again. So if everyone isn't working together collectively when it comes to growth and change, and this partner continues to go from here
and
to
keep moving up
to here, and you're not coming along with the change, does this partner now say, damn, I really want this person. I really want this person. And because I'm comfortable with this person, do I now need to bring myself back down? Or do you reach down and try to bring that person back up? What's your views on that? Hey, Refresh, thanks for joining us.
Okay, so what's so funny is probably about 2 days ago, I was, scrolling through, I think it was either Facebook or Instagram, and Michelle Obama was on a show. I don't remember what show it was, but she was talking about she does not believe in 50-50, right?
Okay, I did see that, yes.
Reason being is, she said, because sometimes one partner is more than that. Probably you are 60 to his 40. Probably he is the 80 to your 20 at that time, or whatever. But we got to collectively work together. Right. You understand what I'm saying? But if I'm working and you chilling here,
hey, Refresh, greetings to you too. It's
not going to work. Especially if they're comfortable there. You understand? Sometimes now there's times where you'll have partners where either that person is making a move or you're making a move, and you're not comfortable with them making a move. Now let me say this: not comfortable meaning you're not upset at it, but you're like, damn, let me work. You know what I'm saying? I see that they making a move, but let me work and try to catch up or something like that. But you have some partners or whatever that when you're changing or whatever, partners, family, places of business, that your co-workers, stuff like that, when you are making a positive move, they're not making that move either. You understand what I'm saying? And then that can also be draining to you. It can be draining
Right.
to the person that is making the change,
Right.
and be unnerving to the person that's not.
That's not. So Sherry said, growth will have people you used to be crazy about looking different. Amen to that. Taste change.
Wait.
And
That part.
that part. Taste change and they weren't on your level anymore. Geisha says no. Sherry says hell no. They need to rise up and meet you where you are or get left behind.
Yeah.
516 says you help them grow. That's what partners do. Geisha says, when you truly grow, change, so do your wants, needs, desires to some degree. Absolutely agree with that. If your partner isn't changing, going in ways that meets those needs, wants, desires, no. She ended a long-term relationship because of this. And it's absolutely true. I mean, there are some people who would gladly go along with you for the ride on your change and see that, you know, this change is really for the better. And it's not just for the better of that person, it's for the better of me, regardless if they're a partner of that person, a child of that person, a parent, all of the other ways that you can have a relationship with someone once you interact with them and they're in your life. They can either accept it, as you said, or take it offensively. But some people also have to know that some people grow apart, and it's okay. There is no love lost. You understand what I'm saying? Because you only want, if you're genuine, you only want to see people do good. You only want someone else to realize that I needed to make this change so you could make a change. Because sometimes that comes into play. Some people just say, you know what, if I don't change the way how I'm moving, this person ain't going to never change the way how they moving. And I know for a fact that if I don't do it, they won't do it. And I need them to be better. So sometimes it's a selfless act, and not just to better yourself, but to better more than just yourself, to better someone else that you see, like, if I don't do this, they are not going to do this.
I think
it's not going to happen. Geisha says, and then I'll turn it over to you, Bree. She says, yes, it is okay to grow apart. Everyone is not meant to be along for every step of your journey. Sherry says facts. And I believe that to be true. I believe that to be true. I've seen it play out too many times.
Yeah, like, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, you know, there's times where I felt, you know, like, hey, this person's moving a little funny or whatever like that. But mind you, yeah, they're moving a little funny, but hey, I'm already in this whole, I'm not letting nothing bother me. I'm peaceful. But if that's the way they moving, that's the way they moving. You understand? No love lost. I still love you.
Right.
I still love you. There is no love lost. But some people don't move like that, and some people don't think like that. They feel that, you know, when a change is coming around, oh, you know, you acting flaky. No, it's just that I really enjoy my alone time. I really enjoy my house. And there's some times that I don't want to talk to you on the phone.
Yeah.
If you call me, I will be highly annoyed. If you text me, we can text all day. But we can text all day.
Right.
But please don't call me.
Please don't call me.
And I'm not calling you. You know, like, but I'm not calling you. You know, I can still find out what everything that's going on. If I realize that it's going to take a little long, and you could attest to this, if I realize that the text is going to take a little long, I'll send you a voice note. But we don't actually have to talk.
Right.
Because I'm not in a talking mood. I'm not in a talking mood. I'm in a texting mood. I'm in a texting mood. I'm in a voice note mood. Do not call me.
Right.
I might be watching my favorite show at the same time. I might be spending some time on
something. Right.
I might be doing something else. I can multitask, but I just don't want to talk to you, or I just don't want to talk. Period. But I can still multitask. You know, like, I really, and a lot of people don't realize this. Cherish your friend. Cherish your family. Cherish your kids. Like, I learned that when I moved down here. Like, I really be upset if my kids don't want to watch a movie with me when I'm off. Or,
Geisha says she doesn't like humans, so That's neither here. She's right along your path. She could be watching paint dry. Don't call her unless you know you have that privilege. I'm going to touch on that with a little joke really quick. I used to do this when I was younger, and not even just when I was younger. In my adult age, back in New York, you could know I'm home. You could hear my TV on. You could see my lights on. You could see my vehicle parked outside in front of my house.
Don't ring my doorbell.
That doorbell. Because I used to sneak to the door, look through that peephole, close back down, walk back inside. If you didn't tell me that you're coming, don't come.
Yeah. Let me tell you what's sitting in my Amazon cart. It's a doormat that said, "But did you call?"
Yeah. Did you call? Did you call?
Because
sometimes you need your alone time, and I absolutely get it. We had, like they just said, you're begging to get your feelings hurt. We've had a wonderful, wonderful first night back with you guys. It is coming down to close the last final 5 minutes. I think we have about 5 minutes left. I'm looking at the clock on the floor. Yeah. But we want to let you know that we will be back. Our next topic, Bree, you're gonna do the closing after. I'll turn it over to you when I'm done. Our next topic is definitely going to be a Valentine's Day topic.
Yeah.
And you know how we like to do Valentine's Day topics. It's gonna be a little raunchy, although it will be next Sunday. Yeah. It's still gonna be on the topic of love. You don't know which way we're going to go with this topic of Valentine's Day and love. Okay? Bree definitely gave out all of our contact information. If you guys have any suggestions, you can, DM us, those of you guys who have our telephone numbers. You can email us. You can do any one of those outlets, and it'll definitely be posted on the Leo Dread Promotions page tomorrow.
Yes.
On ways that you can contact us. You can leave, you can be anonymous if you want, but we don't have to mention your name, or you can just let it all out. You understand what I'm saying?
Be bold.
Sherry said, launching on the Lord's Day, let her go pray. Geisha said, this feels like home. Sherry said, this was great. She missed us. We miss you guys too. Okay, Geisha. So, Geisha, Sherry, Ra, everyone who tuned in, you guys, please look out for it again next Sunday. We definitely will be back with a Valentine's topic. And like I said, there are different ways to reach out to us and get to us. And Bree is going to take over the closing part of the show. This hour goes way too fast. I'm sorry.
It does. It definitely does.
It does. Oh, yeah. And don't forget, we also will be having guests on our show to speak about certain topics. So turn on your post notifications. Turn on the notifications. We are back. We've been gone for a couple years, but we are back. Let's go. Bree, on you.
All right. So I just want to say, does everybody realize that Valentine's Day falls on a Tuesday? Taco Tuesdays. Taco Teen Day. Taco Teen Day. Okay, so closing statement. The show is coming to a close, and we've enjoyed our time with you. I swear that I missed y'all. I miss doing this, and I'm glad that we finally decided to bring this back. Please don't forget to turn on your notifications.
Yes, she said taco, Star. She said taco. She said taco. She said taco.
Team Taco, right? I said team Taco Teen. Taco Teen Day. Taco Teen. All right. And don't forget, you can reach out to us on IG, Leo Dread Promotion, Superstar Heaven, Beijing Boom, Facebook, Leo Dread Promotions, or Leo Love with LDP, and email is ldpromotions19@gmail. We appreciate and we want all of your suggestions, all of your topics. If you have some key points to a topic, if you want to be a guest, come on through.
Come on down.
All of this is with light and love in our heart. Okay, we love y'all. Everything, I'm really missing this.
If you, girl, somebody come get her. Definitely have to thank you guys once again. I know they're gonna cut us off soon. It's an hour show, so we just wanted to make sure that everything was out there, and we definitely hope to see you guys back here next week. Sometimes we'll pop up in the middle of the week. Remember that. and definitely go into this work week looking for change.
Yes. Yes.
Go
Definitely.
into this work week looking for change. Change in anything. And I ain't talking about the change that you have in your pocket to go and do your laundry, not the quarters. Go looking for change. Let's see one thing you can change about yourself. And look out for our post tomorrow. Going to recognize one of our viewers for one of their comments for tonight's show.
Will it be? Which one will it be? Who will it be?
Thank you so much, guys. We love you. Love and light. I say.